All right, my friends, and welcome back here to Game in a Year, this project series that I'm working on. I am excited. Today, we're going to be jumping into the day and night system, and just like that, we got more light. Now, that said, this isn't the kind of light that I'm talking about, but it is the kind of light in the game for the moon and the sun and the stars that we're actually going to be focusing on that will lead us into a new project for a day-night lab. As always, I would like to encourage you to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and smash that like button so you don't miss any future notifications. And for those interested in game development, following projects like this one, or if you're looking for a gaming community where we have fun, faith, and fellowship, I'd like to invite you to join the Gatlin Alliance on Discord. You'll find everything you need to get started down in the description below. Let me start off by saying I've always wanted to figure out how to set up a day-night system. I've always wondered how to implement the moon and the stars, and literally how the sun can go across the atmosphere and the moon come up behind it. And, you know, I played New World Eternum for a long time before they decided that they're going to shut down their game. And I loved the way that they had their day-night system implemented in that game. And I've always wondered, well, wouldn't it be neat to actually replicate that? And then here we are, Neal over at Numen Brothers, covering this very content. And I'm like, yes, this is what I've been wanting for a long time. And so I find it very interesting that Neal over at Numen Brothers literally started covering the day-night system with multiple tutorials, and that really got me excited because I'm like, yes, finally I'm going to be able to learn how to do this. And so it's really an exciting thing whenever you see someone sharing tutorials based on something that you're interested in the first place. So friends, I want to remind you, if you haven't already checked out Numen Brothers, the details for his channel is down in the description below. One of the things that we're not going to do today is go into tutorial mode like we did in the last couple of episodes. While I may occasionally share a few tips or things that I learned along the way, that's really not the purpose of this series. Game in a Year has always been about documenting my development journey, not teaching every step of the process. So instead, what we're going to do is take a look at some of the things that I learned as I built out this day and night system while following the tutorials by Neal over at Numen Brothers. Over the course of these tutorials, we covered quite a bit. We also spent some time using Unreal Engine's light mixer so that we could organize everything. For example, we experimented with the directional light, you know, changing the intensity, light, color, and just seeing what it does. We messed around with the skylight to help balance the lighting throughout the world. Again, you got light, color, intensity, a lot of information here, a lot of different things you can experiment with. We have the sky atmosphere that we experimented with as well. The volumetric cloud, which allows you to mess around with the cloud system, and then the exponential height fog. And all of this has been really to bring the environment to life. From there, we moved into building a custom sky sphere, which we named BP Sky Sphere. We put it in its own folder, and you know, we opened it up. Here's the blueprint for it. And so we did that. We also added our stars to the night sky, created the day-night cycle that allows the sun and moon to move naturally across the sky. And the way we did that was with the sky dome with stars. This was originally in the engine. We had to make a copy of it, and then we were able to edit it and adjust it so that it could produce the night sky. And as you can see here, this is the material for it. Now, we also went and added if we click on the sky, we added a toggle, if you will, to be able to switch between day night anytime in the live scene. So you can see our stars there and our moon and the reflection off the water. Yeah, I mean, it looks really neat. Personally, I really enjoyed setting up the stars during the development process. Watching how all of it came together piece by piece, was really rewarding. I had a lot of fun putting together this day-night system, seeing how the stars work and the moon and the sun and how everything transitions into the night sky. But I wanted to take it to another level. I wanted the feature, as I spoke of earlier in this video, where we have the sun rising and setting and the moon rising and setting on a timer, right? And I thought, okay, what if we implement that? And so it led to the creation of DayNightLabs, a new project that I'll be doing or working on behind the scenes whenever I find time to actually take this day-night system to another level, to be able to implement my idea with the sun and the moon rising and setting and so on and so forth. And I look forward to doing that. And as you can see here on screen, we have something similar to that going on here with the rising and setting of the sun. This is more or less a demo, but you get the general idea. And so, not to mention things like lava, okay? When the sun and the moon is shining on the lava, we get a reflection, okay? Figuring out how to remove that reflection out of the lava, because I wouldn't think that there would be a reflection on lava like there would be on water, right? And any other kind of experimental ideas that could come out of that could all be done right there in the new DayNightLabs project. And finally, I'd like to take a moment to give a shout out to Neal over at Numen Brothers. His Unreal Engine tutorials have been a tremendous help throughout my game development journey, and I truly appreciate the time and effort he puts into creating them. If you're interested in learning an Unreal Engine or you're thinking about building your own game, I highly recommend checking out the Numen Brothers YouTube channel. Neal has created an excellent collection of tutorials that can help you get started and continue growing as a game developer. You'll find a link to the Numen Brothers YouTube channel down in the description below. And now, if you'd like to continue following this Game in a Year journey, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss any future content. Also, if you're interested in game development, enjoy behind the scenes content, would like to follow the development of this project, or become part of a community where we have fun, faith, and fellowship, I invite you to join us in the Gatlin Alliance on Discord. You'll find everything you need down in the description below. And with that, we've reached the end of another step in this Game in a Year journey, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in and watching this video. We explored the foundation of a dynamic day and night system and saw how it eventually led to the creation of DayNightLabs, where I'll continue experimenting with new ideas as development moves forward. Next time, we'll shift our focus from the sky to the ground as we begin implementing dynamic footstep sounds and animation. Until then, take care, God bless, and I will see you in the next grand adventure.